Hey guys, this is IrieStarcraft and I am back to cast another game for you. This will be a 2 versus 2 and it will be game 2 between Power, the red Terran player, and haCkProTech, the blue Zerg player. Their opponents will be ONEKyhol, the purple Terran, and ONEGatored, the teal Protoss. This will be on Scorched Haven, and real quickly before I get into this game, I just wanted to say that I wanted to thank Nico, a fan from the YouTube channel who made the new logo for me that you can see down here. If all is going well, that cool logo will be down here, and it is so super awesome. Thank you, Nico. He is damn good at what he does, so I just wanted to give a shout out to Nico. And so anyway, getting to this game, let's see, last game, spoiler alert, last game, ProTech and Power were defeated by the likes of Team 1, Team Kyhol, and Team ONEGatored. That was on Ruins of Tarsonis, which is a shared-based map with a single ramp. There are backdoor rocks on that map, but as you all know, it takes a while to kill backdoor rocks. Whoa, we have a pylon front and center. It looks like Kyhol and Gatored are going to try and create a wall-off down here on Scorched Haven, which is a much wider area to try to defend. So this map definitely favoring the left team. I think with a Zerg player, ProTech will be able to be aggressive early if he wants, because I don't think they'll be able to complete this wall in very quickly. We will see, though. It looks like ProTech is not trying to be aggressive at all. He has a very late spawning pool, so we will see. Maybe he will go for roaches and he will try to break this front using ranged attacks from the roaches. It will be interesting to see if Power, he always gets that gas kind of early. Maybe not for Terran. I'm not super familiar with Terran build orders, but I'm so used to seeing Terrans go for Hellions that I'm always like, oh, that's a Hellion build, but probably not for Power, and especially not in this matchup with no Zerg on the other team. A Forge is on the way for ONEGatored already in the back, as well as Cybernetic Core, so I expect to see some cannon action up front, defensive cannons, and this probe Power is aware of this probe, so he will not be able to do any sneaky cannons, aggressive cannons that is. Look at the queued up path for this probe. He may actually die right here. No, Power is going to go around the backside, and could this probe actually escape? It would be a miracle. Oh, the probe could have escaped, but no! Power with some nice marine micro right there, taking it out. If Gatored had been aware of that, excuse me, he may have been able to get rid of it, but there were Zerglings out there, I think, waiting for that probe, and the Zerglings are going to come right up the front. The cannons are not finished yet. The Zerglings will be able to go for the cannon if they want, but no, the Zerglings for ProTech are going to run inside the main, and these two Zerglings, however, are not going to make it in. 4 Zerglings here have pulled a significant amount of probes, make it 8 probes off of the line just to deal with these Zerglings. They're going to harass this mineral line and really cost ONEGatored a lot of minerals, forcing this marine and these probes to chase the Zerglings all over the place. And now the Zerglings are going to surround the marine and pick that off, and that will make their harassment that much better, especially with the speed on the Zerglings. He is going to be sniping probes as much as possible. That is ProTech and working on this pylon and just generally being a complete ass to ONEGatored. This is how you play Starcraft, though. He's not really being an ass for just harassing the mineral line. Though if you're ONEGatored, and I'm used to playing Protoss, so I feel for ONEGatored right now. And he is throwing down 2 gateways here. Let's see what else he got. It looks like he has 1 other gateway here, so he's probably going to be expanding. Kyhol already with the tank, and that will be revealed. And meanwhile, Power and ProTech have been setting up their expansions. ProTech using 4 Zerglings to do all the harassment he needs. Meanwhile, just droning. So left team powering up. Economically, they will be pretty far ahead here. And with 2 cannons very exposed for ONEGatored, that really all that does is negate the very early Zergling push. Now, if we had roaches and a bio-ball coming in here, it would be a different story. Though there is tanks out for Kyhol. Let's see if he is getting more tanks. He should be getting lots more tanks. Now getting siege tech as well. And so that will be difficult to break right up the gut, but we'll see if they can pull off any shenanigans. A pylon here by ONEGatored will provide some vision of this area. Power, I haven't seen him do a lot of dropship play lately, and he's usually pretty good at the dropship play, so he's just now getting his factory. And he has finished his stim pack and is working on custom shells and combat shield. And both players on the left just macro, and players on the right trying to macro, but I think they were just really worried about an early push this game. Twilight Council on the way for ONEGatored. We'll see where he goes from that. There are 4 gateways total now here for ONEGatored. So could we be seeing Blink Stalkers? Could we be seeing some Dark Templars? Oh, you know I love me some DTs. And he does have a few sentries out. That was just one thing to note on Protoss. If you're going to be trying to throw down that expansion, but your warp gates are ready to warp in, throw down some sentries, man. Get some sentries and get some energy cooking on those. You noticed, if you watched last game, you know how awesome Gatored was with force fields. This guy is the force field master. He is damn good with force fields, as he repeatedly was splitting ProTech and Power's army, and that really gave them that was the main reason they won last game, I think. So we are macro, and look at ProTech has so many. How many drones does ProTech have? 54 drones for ProTech already. He is completely, fully saturated at both bases now, just droning like mad crazy. So we'll see, is he getting a Spire, or does he have a Spire? He's going for Infestation Pit, so we will be seeing a lot of Infestors here very soon. He's also throwing down a Spire. We'll see if he decides to get those Pathogen Glands or not. He may not. He's actually throwing down the Infestation Pit just to get his Hive Tech on the way. So we could be seeing some, it looks like ProTech is going straight for Broodlords. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he has built nothing. And he has that Roach Warren just in case there's a push coming. He'll be able to build 1,000,000 roaches instantly. But it looks like he is going straight for Broodlords. And we are going to see some Marine Marauder support on the ground with Medivacs here from Power. And on the other side, we are turtling up hardcore. We have Marines and tanks from ONEKyhol, and we have sentries and zealots down here. We are fighting something. What are we fighting? Power has already done a drop in the back of Gatored's base, and trying to press into the middle line. However, ONEKyhol has left a siege tank up here by the Nexus, and that will most likely prevent any kind of push from Power. It needs to think about getting into this Medivacs and getting the hell out of dodge right away. As you can see, Blink has finished for Gatored, but he used his Blink to get underneath that and happened to shoot down the empty Medivac, so Power will be able to escape with the majority of his forces. How did I not see that flying across the map? Jesus Christ, man. Okay, so I called it early on that this map is very conducive to drop play, as look how far these units have to run all the way back and forth over here. And if Power wanted to drop up here, that is why ONEKyhol is forced to send units over here. This Marine is having a bad day. He is stuck at the bottom of the cliff. And there's just no way he's getting up there unless this barracks moves. Maybe. You're good for cracklings. Dude, cracklings are sweet. He is going to be upgrading the Zergling attack speed as well as the melee attack and ground carapace, and these upgrades here for melee attack and armor will count for the broodlings that pop out of the Broodlords. So that will help for those as well, and going to be getting a swarm of Zerglings very soon, I believe. Also trying to grab this expansion, as he should, as ProTech with sitting on 72 drones, definitely enough for a third base. He's already managing a bunch of drones over there, so ProTech really macroing hard this game. And that is going to pay huge dividends, I believe. And where are the Broodlords? Are they morphing in now? We are morphing in 4, and it looks like we may just be morphing in Broodlords as fast as humanly possible here. Old players on the left, macro. Siege tanks now for Power on the way, as well as Vikings on the way to help protect those Broodlords. So we are getting, look at the army composition. We have Marines, Marauders, Medivacs, Siege Tanks, Corruptors, Broodlords, Vikings, and we should have some Cracklings coming out here very soon. What happened to my production tab? What the H, man? I hope that wasn't gone for that long. Sorry about that, you guys, but we do have a robotics facility and Psystorm, Zealot Charge. Oh man, we are going to see we're going to see all the stops in this game. All of the tech stops are being pulled out, and look at Power is going to start setting up the contain here with the siege tanks, spreading them out nicely, and he will probably be reinforcing that with more siege tanks there. Brewlords are slowly making their way across the map. This guy's never going to get there, never. It will be tomorrow by the time he gets there. And more Broodlords morphing in? Or what was that sound? Yes, there is more Broodlords morphing in. So combined, if I can do control and then shift control, oh, I can see that there are 9 Broodlords. Whoa! Revealing 1 Broodlord here is Protech, so we better commence this attack right now because the Broodlords have been revealed. Oh, the Broodlords need to get up. The Broodlords could just decimate this army of tanks on the high ground. That looks like that is exactly what Protech is going to do. He's bringing the Broodlords around the top side, and the tanks are forced to run away. And as soon as those tanks have unsieged and ran back, we could see a press right up the gut. ONEKyhol playing a very defensive now, not sure what to do about these Broodlords. There are simply too many of them, and High Templars, while very powerful, are not that great against Broodlords, as the Broodlords have a decent amount of hit points, and it is difficult for the High Templars to get in range to do the side storms. And now the Broodlings are just raining terror on the enemy base, and they've got this entire army just sitting in the back if they need to use, which they may not even need to use, as there are now some Vikings, it looks like, for ONEKyhol that were sniped out by Power's Vikings. And the air superiority right now for Protech and Power is just annihilating the front of the base for Team 1, and they're just sitting way back here trying to buy as much time as possible before they try and break this. And the Cracklings are on the way into ONEKyhol's main, and that is going to be a serious pain in the ass for him to deal with. But it looks like most of the Cracklings were taken out fairly easily there. The Marines are stimming up and trying to get underneath the Broodlords. The Broodlords are pulling back. Side storms are going down all over the place, but look at the tanks at the bottom from Power just shelling away at this army, doing so much splash damage. The Zealots are charging into the tanks, but they will get annihilated very quickly by the Bio Ball sitting in the back in support. And here comes the rest of the press. It looks like Team 1 is going to go down. A good game there. Definitely an exciting battle to watch at the end. Though pretty much this game was macro, and then just massive battle at the end. And the army composition goes to the left team. That is the army composition advantage, and they will take the game. So you can tell that the different kinds of maps here favoring the different style of play. And with this wide choke that the team on the right had to deal with, much more difficult to defend. And allowing turtling themselves in here, just allowing Protech to go ballistic on the economy and just overwhelm with Broodlords. And a nice job supporting from Power, as well as the drop harassment here earlier, really keeping the team on the back foot, even though it did not do a lot of damage. What it did do is force them to sit here and think about this, which is where you see all these missile turrets and idle SUVs sitting around here. So even if the damage not being done with the drop, or even if there isn't that much damage done with the drop, it still can do psychological damage and really make your opponents scramble. So anyway, that was a pretty exciting game. Thank you, Power, for sending me this game. Sorry it took me so long to get to game number 2. But that is going to do it for me. This is IrieStarcraft, and peace out.